Your first wife broke up.
Yes.
Did you get a divorce?
I didn't at that time. I didn't at that time. He wasn't interested at that time in remarrying, and neither was I. And I was on my own then for 12 years, as was he. And then, not until 12 years later, when I met somebody that I thought would make a suitable partner.
That's Jack?
Yes, yes. That I got a divorce. And of course, by then, it was so much easier to get a divorce. You got it under the new law, which was the total dissolution of the relationship.
Phyllis, do you
Very
think,
sensible.
do you think the matter, sort of, was it very important, your sense of dignity, your sense of yourself, to be able to get a divorce? Is it important to be able to get a divorce?
Absolutely. I tried for a divorce before it was easy to get, and I just dropped it through laziness, or maybe when the big bill for £1,000 came, I didn't have it or whatever. It was very expensive, I remember, and there was nothing to push me. But to be actually told by a jury in any country, you an adult, that are voting for them, after all, you have voted to put them there, and they're telling you, look, you naughty little child, you marry that man or that woman and you stay with them because I say so. I mean, it borders on insanity. It's crazy.
Phyllis, what do you think the secret of a happy marriage is?
I suppose I have the supreme test. Fabulous, wonderful partner. A man who will care for you when you're terminally ill, when you're so far down that you're no longer a fit partner for anyone. That's the sign of a great partner. He still makes you feel like that you're a queen.
He's very much in love with you, isn't he?
He is, as I am with him, yes.
He was telling me a while ago that he thought that the important thing was to give the other person freedom. He said he always tried to give you freedom.
That's right. I'm 16 years married to him yesterday. He has never once told me what to do. He's given me complete freedom, as you say, and then I've never wanted to do anything except to please him. It seems strange that if you allow one another complete freedom, for some strange reason, eventually each of your desires are to please one another, and that's happened with us. We've been very lucky. And we got him, we're both socialists. He's a socialist much longer than I am. He's a socialist, I suppose, for over 40 years. He was founder of the Ballyfermot Co-op. That's going back a lot. He always tells a funny story of being condemned from the altar by Canon Troy in Shicor or Ballyfermot, one of the churches. They said he was a corrupter of young women, and he's always been very proud of that since, because the only young women in his life at that time were two he had working in the co-op to serve the customers, and he employed two girls because they didn't have any jobs. And at that time, he was too busy trying to save the world, as he thought. He had no interest in girls in a romantic level. So he always thanks Canon Troy for giving him his great romantic title.
Well, he was certainly very anxious to corrupt you anyway, he told me. You know,
yes,
he said,
yes.
He was telling me that he was giving me his own hardline definition. He's a wicked sense of humour, of course.
Has wicked black sense of
black
humour.
comedy. He was giving me his own definition. He said if he went off and were unfaithful with someone, he wouldn't care. He'd be hurt, but he wouldn't care.
Yes.
He said if you're away with someone, that's serious material problem.
Right.
You know, this is a material problem. Real.
Right.
He just didn't want to lose you. It's very different from the average Irish version of a happy marriage, you know, where worry about unfaithfulness would be all, you know.
No.
And if you were unfaithful, they'd put you outside the door, you know.
No, it's a lot of nonsense. I would feel exactly the same. And strangely enough, it never would occur to me that he would be unfaithful. But if he was, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I mean, what is it, for heaven's sake? It's part of the basis of nature. I have had an unhappy marriage, which I have hopefully solved, because my ex-husband is also happily married now, which is one of the things that I think is an achievement from both of us, in both of our lives. I remarried very happily, so I have proved, for example, this might sound conceited, but it's a very pathetic state of affairs that an ordinary woman like me has to sit here and say, I proved a government and a nation wrong, that in a referendum they say, no, you stay married, we marry, you stay married. But I, as an individual, proved they are wrong because I have broken the laws they request me to keep. And I have a very, very happy story to tell. My children are happy. My husband is happy. My ex-husband is happy, and I'm happy. And now I have come to, I suppose, the biggest crisis anyone can come to in their lives. I'm going to die at 54, hopefully 55. And I have achieved great happiness. I have this marvellous husband, but if I believed this rubbish, that this government has the audacity to tell me, how do they know what's right for me? It's an impossibility. But I have proved them wrong, and I'm very happy about that.
And yet you would admit that most Irish people looking at your life would say, she's an oddball, she was born on a small farm, and she ends up a socialist, a divorcee, and who's prepared to die without a belief in an afterlife?
Oh, not at all. I have no belief in an afterlife. If I had, I would be terrified. You see, I can't ever understand. All the people that I know, naturally most of my friends are practicing Catholics, and I can't understand. They're not all queuing up like lemmings waiting to get to heaven. I have never yet met anybody who wanted to die. And I feel that if after a world that they're always telling me about is so fantastic, I would be queuing up to get there. I mean, who would want my husband or my silly pile of bricks and mortar when there is this divine paradise waiting for me? See, nobody has ever said that to me. And I've had all these labels pinned on me all my life. But strangely enough about the Irish people, when you meet them in a one-to-one relationship, they say, God, she's not really very much different from what we are at all.